Hello, we are going to start our topic 8, data processing. In this topic, we are going to learn various things like
Wacha uporojo wako hapo, toa hiyo vitu hapo haraka.
Student, please mute your mic. Mute your mic, please. Student, please mute your mic. Stop sharing.
bye.
So good morning. As you can see, last week we never met because we were having a holiday. That was on 10th. That's week 5. We are not able to meet. As you are aware, we didn't meet. So we didn't meet. On 10th, we didn't meet, so it's an holiday. That was week 5. So today, you can be able to access week 6. Week 5 was a holiday, so we didn't meet. So that one we didn't learn. So I'm not going to bother you on that. So today, we are going to look at a very short topic. Then I'll allow you to be able to get time and do the end of week 6 assignment quiz. You can also engage the forums. You can also engage the forums so that you can learn more from the forums. So at this juncture today, having learned about what a computer software is, as well as its classification, it's now important for us to have a glimpse of how computer carries out processing. So this topic introduces you to data processing modes. The way data is collected and processed depends on the processing mode. It is subject to, this chapter will examine batch, online, real-time, distributed, offline, time sharing, and multitasking data processing. The topic has 7 sections, namely the batch, the online, distributed, offline, time sharing, and multitasking. So the learning objective of the week is, by the end of this topic, the learner should be able to define data processing, discuss the various data processing modes, and then the other thing is we have a forum. Kindly join the forum in week 6. This is the 6th week. So using an illustration, so I want you to you will respond later using an illustration. Describe any 4 primary stages of data processing. That one you'll respond on the forum. In your own thinking, describe how what is data processing. So you will have to respond to that in the forum. So that one I leave it up to you to think of how you will respond. And then we have the notes now, the data processing. That's what we need to do. That's what we are intending to deal with. So data processing, having learned about what a computer is, as well as its classification, it is now important for us to have a glimpse of how computers carries out processing. So this topic introduces you to data processing modes, the way data is collected and processed, depends on the processing mode it's subject to. So the chapter will examine online, real-time, distributed, offline, time sharing, and multitasking data processing. The topic has 7 sections, namely the batch, the online, the real-time, the distributed, the offline, time sharing, and multitasking. So by the end of this topic, the learner should be able to define data processing, discuss the various processing. So in your own chat box, I'm typing, I can, but you will also respond it in the forum later. So in this one, I'm just posting the same question in the chat box so that we can respond to the same. And I'm just saying, in your own words, describe what is data processing. So in the chat box, kindly respond if you have any idea of what data processing is. That's our activity 1. But in the forum, you'll have your time. You log into the forum and be able to. So kindly respond to that question. What is data? In the chat box. I can see processing of data. What do you think is data processing? Structuring and recording of data to make it more useful. So keep responding. It's the process where raw data is converted into meaningful information. Change data processing, manipulation. I can see you're really giving answers. So keep giving us answers, and I think that you can see it's display the screen what you're giving. As you input your, you can see on the screen what you're putting in. They're coming in fast. So kindly respond. Keep responding. Keep responding. Conversion of raw data into facts. Data processing. Manipulation of data to make it useful. Conversion of raw facts into meaningful information. Data processing. Changing of new data. Yeah, good. So we can delve now into the course. At least I can have a clue that you know what you're doing. So the responses I can see you have. So you will notice that in order to respond to the above question, you will have to have known what data and what processings are. So kindly let us now ask what is processing and what is data. So can you give us what is processing, what is data? Can you respond to that question? What is data and what is processing? Can you tell me what is processing and what is data? Can you tell me what processing is and what is data? Can you give me that very fast? What is data and what is processing? You can see data is raw facts. Keep responding. Good. I can see you know what data is. From your screen, I think you can see how people are responding. I'm able to see how you are responding on the same. You can see all of you are saying that most of you are saying data is the collection of raw facts. Now, what about processing? Very few are talking about processing. Can you now tell me what processing is? I can see, guys, you are really responding. Once they reach 50, I move to the next, but I can see most of you are responding on well. And so we are 35, those who have responded. Keep responding. So it's good, at least I'm sure that over 80 people, over 90 people have responded to that chat. That is very good. I can see we are at 98, 99 now. It is over 100. And that is good. I can see your chats. So data is raw facts. That is from Emmanuel Wambuko. Conversion of data to meaningful information, that's processing. Data is raw facts and figures, symbols. I can see, I don't know, facts and statistics corrected in different, I doubt that. Data is a representation of facts, concepts. Raw facts, don't use just the word facts. Data is data. I can see, for instance, teach, it's a way of treating or preparing something by a special method. Eunice Maingi, processing is the act of converting data into information. Samuel Mwangi, then I can see Rhoda Chemtai. Data are raw facts, figures, and symbols, while processing is the process of converting data into meaningful information. I can see this is another one. Betty Nasimiu, transforming of input data to more useful thing. Now, what is this thing? To meaningful information. And then Trayson Kipkoril, processing is the changing raw data into meaningfulness. Data is a collection of raw facts. That's Shaban Wepe. Diana Chepet, processing is conversion of raw facts into useful information. Then Collins Otieno, is the conversion of raw data into meaningful, that's processing. Processing is converting input data into meaningful information. That's from Nelly Maende. And then Joshua, processing is the organization and manipulation of large amount of raw data into meaningful information. Then Victor Mondi, data is a raw fact and figures. Good. I can see most of you have really responded. And that one is quite good. And so at least I'm sure that over 200 people have responded to that question. But we also go further and respond the same in the forum and discuss further and be able to put it also in the forum. you discuss it further so that you can understand the term. So once, however, there is a lot of modes of data processing, and in this topic we shall discuss each data processing mode mentioned above so as to help us understand them. So the status of information must be updated continuously to reflect business activities. In a business, people write checks, customers buy on credit, raw material get requisitioned from the inventory, etc. In all the cases, it is necessary to update the status of information on the computer files. There are various methods of transaction processing for updating the information status, but whichever method is chosen, it has to be cost-effective and most efficient. So the way data is collected and processed depends on the processing mode it is subject to. So this chapter will examine batch, online, real-time, distributed, offline, time sharing, multitasking, and distributed data processing. But before we talk about each data processing modes, we look at the data processing cycle. So you can see the data processing cycle. So we have data collection. Then you move to data input, processing, and output. So that is the cycle. It is very clear on how the data cycle works. So you can see it very clearly in that particular. So data processing cycle refers to the sequence of activities in the data transformation of raw facts. Finally, as I'm sharing, there's somebody who's joking around with again. I have to go off, I'm sorry. Let me come back. So data processing cycle refers to the sequence of activities involved in data transformation from its raw form to get information. After defining data processing, so now we are looking at this. So data collection, this is where you collect data. You can have primary data. Primary data, you can collect it either from questionnaires, surveys. Actually, you're just collecting them using data. You just collect them. You can have primary data and secondary data. Secondary data is where it's already published, but primary data is where you collect from the people directly, either through questionnaires, through interviews, through surveys. That will be that's now when you're collecting data. That's what you call primary data. You're collecting directly from the people. But we have also secondary data where you can collect from books, published material, from the internet. That is what we call secondary data. Then we have data input. Mark D, this person who is again joking with the screen with the red, kindly unmute the remove him from this, the guy who is drawing with the red. Then we have data input. Data input is where now you are inputting data you have collected from people you are inputting into the system. Then of course you're converting the data through processing into information. So when you process data that has been input into information, Mark D, identify this nuisance who is causing us a screen to have issues. Kindly have again to share the screen. So we have the processing. So you process, so you have data collection, data input, then you process the data, converting the data into meaningful information that is now processing. Then you can be able to output that data. So this is the cycle of data processing cycle. And when you are able to display that, then it becomes a very important. So from this, kindly, the person who is drawing on the screen, kindly stop for the last time. So I'm posing a question so that you can discuss any of the stages. So we have 4 stages of the data cycle. Now that question I've posed, kindly use an illustration. So just describe any 4 stages of a data collection, what you like most, Can you kindly discuss, instead of using an illustration, just describe any 4 primary stages of data processing on your chart, kindly. On your chart, kindly discuss. On your chart, kindly discuss that. We have the 4, so can you discuss each? Discuss. Kindly discuss. The question is, we have talked about data collection. Can you discuss each in this cycle? I think it's clear, any of what you can see. Just discuss it by typing in the chat what you are supposed to. We have the collection, we have data input, we have processing, and we have output. So could you kindly discuss that in your chat, any of the following in the, I can see any of data collection, data input, processing, or output. Discuss them in your chat box so that we can see. Can you discuss that? So data collection, no, but you discuss them. Bramwell Wafula, I said you discuss. Data collection, data input, yes, but now discuss them. Discuss them. So I can see Emmanuel. You can see highlight data collection is where raw facts are collected from various sources. That is good. You can see Samson Macheng, input data is prepared in convenient form. You can see processing. In this step, input data are changed to produce data in a more meaningful form. For example, paychecks. That's good. Data collection from Virginia Wanyama. Data collection, data is collected from different sources, both secondary and that's good. And then we have Masinde Teresia. Input are prepared in some convenient form. Then we have Tawafula, which also has responded. Then we have Evans Barasa. The raw fact is filtered, sorted, and processed, analyzed. You have to also say which process so that I can understand which one you're talking. Input is where input data are prepared in some convenient form. So keep responding so that we can read out yours. Then we have Hamala, who has responded. We have Brian Chama, data input. This is the process when raw facts are being instructed into the computer. That is good. Then we have Jacob Moreka. Processing. In this step, input data are changed to produce data in a more meaningful form. For example, paychecks may be calculated from the time card, or a summary of sales for the month may be calculated from the sales order. I can see that. Good, Moreka. Then Eunice Maingi, data processing is gathering data for processing. Data collection is where raw facts are collected. I don't know where they collected or called from various sources. I think you have to say collected. Data processing, that is from Tai Wasi. Data processing is where data is changed by a machine under a set of programs. Then we have Dennis Kipchirchir. Data input is where raw facts enter into. Then we have Chenane Samantha. Data collection, first stage of data collection. Then we have input, raw fact is converted into machine and readable form. Processing, raw fact is subjected to various data processing methods. And then we have Yvonne Simiu, data collections where raw facts are preserved. Okay, I can see people have idea of what we're talking about. So keep posting, keep posting. So I can see you have an idea of what we are talking about. Then we have Francis, Collins Otieno, data output during this stage, computer display the results of its processing. Then we have Ngesa Fanuel, who has also responded. Can see all. Can see Daniel Mutinda. David Odhiambo has also responded. Lydia Sylvia Bore. Good. You can see you have an idea of what actually we are saying. So very important. So those who have responded, I think we have sampled a few. And we were able to have sampled a few. And we were able to look at them. So we are now going to the batch processing. This is the next stage. So we are looking at batch processing. This is a technique which items are collected, grouped, and processed together to permit convenient and efficient processing. The collection of data is done over time, done for a particular period, e.g. monthly, weekly. This approach of data processing is commonly used in updating payroll, invoices, etc. The advantages, the unit cost of processing is low, and then data does not require special hardware and software. Then has enhanced system security, because any time updating occurs, new lines are created, then simple to develop and maintain. That's what we call, and you can see in the batch, you can see user 1, user 2, user 3, and the computer system is there, and the user queues, and they are able now to do it in a batch, and you can see in the diagram very clearly. That's what we call batch processing. So disadvantages is random inquiries cannot be made to the system. That's a disadvantage. Errors are reported late. This is because some time is taken before processing, then provides information that is always out of date at processing. Then it also produces either unwanted information or not enough information. So you can see that. So then we move to the next, which is time sharing. Now, time sharing, this technique for making available the service of a single computer to multiple, that is more than 2 or more users simultaneously, providing rapid responses to each of the users. So you can see the computer system has several users. So you're making the computer system that it's sharing. So they are sharing. So time sharing in that figure, you can see it's very clear there. So from the above definition, time sharing involves the use of single computer system, many independent users. Each user operates independently without an awareness of the use of facility by others. Each user having his own program. Each user expects fast response. The user files are maintained at the processing center, that is the central computer. Then time sharing is popular in universities, but limited to commercial use, just like the time sharing, the ERP is used by so many in the same system. So that's what they're saying, that it's very popular in the universities. So the advantages, it reduces the CPU idle time, provides several high-level languages for programming, costs are spread to many users, provides direct access to a computer file, which is always held online, supports many users. Then the information output is fast. So those are the advantages or the merits. What about the disadvantages? Require large capacity. It is expensive to install. Requires a powerful computer and a powerful operating system. Controlling such A system is difficult because the passwords can be stolen. So those are disadvantages. So desirable features of time sharing. Response time needs to be very high. Users are not even supposed to imagine that they are waiting to be served. Should have good input or output devices. There must be a well-defined method of changing the users for the CPU time used. Control must be exercised to ensure that the users are protected against file destruction and unauthorized use. So those are very key things. Then we have what we call the multitasking or multi-programming. So as we continue, there's somebody who is still joking around with us. Kindly stop interfering with the screen, kindly. Mark D, kindly deal with that person. Remove him from the course, kindly. So from the mode, so we are now looking at the multitasking or multi-programming. So from the mode discussed above, we now have to multitasking. We now move to multitasking. This is a technique of having the computer handle several programs or tasks concurrently. The programs reside in different sections of the memory, and the operating system switches control from one to another. So programs are queued and are held in a storage media. The programs are then called on priority basis. Real-time programs are given first preference to batch process. Otherwise, once the program is completed, the next one in queue is loaded by the operating system. The operating system. This guy called Britton, kindly, you are interfering with our screen. Mark D, kindly note these guys and remove them. Huh? When we tell them they are not listening. So can we start again from this multi-program? And I don't want monkey business on the screen, kindly. So from the mode discussed above, we now move to multitasking. This is a technique of having the computer handle several programs or tasks concurrently, and the program reside in different sections of memory, and the operating system switches control from one to the other. So programs are queued and are held in a single storage. So the programs and then called on priority basis. So real-time programs are given first preference to batch process. So otherwise, once the program is completed, the next one in queue is loaded by the operating system. So advantages: it supports many users, provide direct access to the central processing unit. That's the CPU, and reduces the CPU idle time. The disadvantages is it requires a powerful CPU with very high speed, then requires input-output facilities which operate without constant supervision by the CPU. It requires a powerful operating system. Then the overall time taken to process information is then we have the online processing system. Another one is online processing. This is a system in which input data is communicated directly to the CPU. The output information is transmitted directly to the user. The data transmission system consists of a remote point where data is captured and presented a device that takes from remote point and passes it to the computer, and subsequent transmit information from the computer to a remote point after processing is done. So that's what we call online processing. Then we have what we call the offline processing system. This is a system which is not under the control of the CPU. Offline equipment such as the key punch machine for punching cards, and mostly these were first generation computers use this. I didn't think right now we're using punching cards. We have so many different ways of inputting and keying data. We don't need the punched cards which were used those days in the first and second generation. So for this one, the offline equipment such as key punching machines, key entry devices, or boosters have no direct hookup with the CPU. So that one can be also that. Then we have what we call the distributed data processing. Distributed data processing, the multi-programming or distributed data processing, DDP. This is a method where two or more computers are linked together for various users for the same organization. Kevin Mauti, kindly remove Kevin Mauti. Kevin Mauti, we are saying stop drawing on the screen. So this is a method where data, this is a method where two or more computers are linked together for various users for the same organization. So the computers are usually located in various regions, departments, and sections, etc. of an organization. The computer systems are physically remote and access to each machine is capable of carrying out local processing for its department, section, or region of organization. It's also nice to look at the advantages and disadvantages. So let us look at the disadvantages. So you can look at the advantages and disadvantages. So when we talk about distributed data processing, what could be the advantages and disadvantages? So this is a question I'm quickly posting in the forum. Advantages and disadvantages of DTP. So you will discuss that in the forum. I'm adding that so that you can discuss in the forum, and I'll check. Let me just add them directly into the forum so that you are able to. I've added all those questions in the forum. I can see only one person has tried to answer the question. That is Lukote Kofia. The rest, I can see 10 replies, but Lukote has also asked his own question. So I don't know. There are 10 people who have responded to question, but let me add just one question here. DTP discuss the advantages I'm posting this question on the forum. You will be able to enter into LMS and discuss immediately after this class. That's what you're going to do. Everybody's going to log in and try to answer those questions. So once we finish the class, it will be time for you to go into the forum and so kindly look at the advantages. So you discuss those advantages. They might not be, they're just in point form, but make sure you discuss them. So benefits of DDP, distributed data processing. It encourages effective decision making since all the required information can easily be made available locally. System failure. If one element of a system fails, process data, the department is not affected. Has enhanced security. Most of the sensitive operations are done locally. Errors can easily be corrected. Low cost and better reliability. The disadvantages requires that the user get involved in the system. Hence, the users have to be trained. Then there are programming problems. with micro and mini computers for schools. Kenya standard is difficult to maintain and monitor. Then it encourages data duplication, requires extra cost for communication. Requires extra cost for communication. So now we are looking at the centralized and decentralized data processing. This is where an organization chooses to process its data limited systems designed for them. They don't type of processing. So sorry, we went off a bit, but I'm back. So outside in this topic, you have learned that there are various data processing modes. I've examined batch, online, real-time, distributed, offline, time-sharing, multitasking. So I think I want you to discuss the real-time on the forum. I want you to discuss another topic I'm adding is discuss the real-time. As you can see from your screen, I'm adding it. Another topic. Let me add another topic. So discuss so I've put that. And now we are actually at the end. So I'll also put this in the forum. You define what data representation is, adding it in the forum. So immediately after this, join the forum in your LMS and be able to discuss. Because actually it's just a short topic. So in our next topic, we are going to look at networks, network topologies. Then before we start our calculation, then we go to mathematics, where you need to be very keen as we do. After this, we are now moving into math. So I'm posting the questions, discuss those questions in the forum, be able to see what other people are discussing. I'm putting the discussion so that you can be able to discuss in the forum, and also be able to see what people are discussing, try to answer those questions. Very important for you to answer those questions. So after this, kindly log into your LMS. Kindly log into LMS after this. Actually, I'm giving you time to log into LMS. Read well the notes. So we are here. So we have finished, we have looked at the resources, the data processing. Then now we are looking at what is the end of week 1. I'm going to add in more videos on the data processing. And then now everybody to log into the LMS after this. Once I finish the class, log into the LMS, go to the quiz of week 6. Once you click, you only have one attempt, be able to do the quiz. Be able to do the quiz at the end of this class. The attempt so far only 83 have done out of 2,000. So kindly attempt the quiz after this class. Immediately I log off, log into your LMS and be able to answer some questions at the end of week 6. We are anticipating to have a cut. Let me just be prepared either next week, but I'll communicate. But be ready. Just know that we are anytime we are going to have a cut, maybe next week, maybe. I'm not saying, I'm not confirmed, but we'll confirm with Odell. Once Odell, the directorate is ready, we are going to have an online cut. It will be a one-day cut for all of you. So just ensure that you have stable internet, and then we will be able to communicate with the, you will be able to do the cut. Once I communicate, stop spreading rumors. I'll communicate officially that we have a cut on this date and this time, so that you prepare, you have your internet on, you have good internet, and you are able to do the exams online. So we are going to have a cut, definitely. We're just working with model to see that the systems are more efficient, so that we can be able to do a cut one day. So when that day reaches, make sure you do it. And at this juncture, I'm leaving you to try the quiz and also be able to engage in the forums. And that will mark the end of week 6 in this particular course. So have a good week, and keep now chatting in the forum, responding to the questions I've put on the forum. Thank you. Have a nice week. That is all for this week. Then the other thing before we leave is that when our week starts, kindly read the start of the start instruction for every week. So like for week 6, the instructions are very clear. Read the learning outcomes for week, it should be week 6, sorry, not week 5, it should be week 6. Then read the notes of data processing, join the live stream. So live stream is this particular section, we are having a live stream. Then use forum for weeks, this should be week 6. Then make sure you attempt the end of week 6 quiz. And then read, I think that one need to be changed. I'm just changing it right away. It should be week 6, not week 5. Hey, what is happening? Meamua kunifukuza. So ensure you do. Let me just edit this. This should be week 6. This will be week 6. Sorry for that. This is quiz for week 6. So I'm just editing. So you read those instructions and follow the way they are said. So kindly go through the notes, be able to answer the quiz. That will be it. That will be the end of that week. So this is a very short topic. So next week we are going to look at networking, the topologies, and I can see so far as we've just finished the quiz around 1 or 3. I've already attempted the quiz. See even the performance so far. Look at the performance so far and see how people are performing. And see, you're still continue working until the close. So I can see what you're doing. So keep posting and keep doing the cuts. So far. So that's the end of the class. Now go to the forums, do your exams. That is it. You can log out and disappear. And now log out. Bye. Let me stop sharing.
Maybe Kevin Mauti, we have identified that you are a very notorious student. So maybe anytime you might face some discipline cases. We have realized that Kevin Mauti, you are a very notorious student when it comes to presentation. So prepare yourself to face the disciplinary committee for that.
Yeah, he's actually interfering with our presentations every time, drawing things on. As we share the screen, he draws things. Even if I share right now, I'm sure he has drawn something already.
So Kevin Mauti, prepare to present yourself, to apologize, or maybe to face some disciplinary action. We can't tolerate that nonsense you are doing.
So Kevin Mauti, your registration number, please. Can you type your registration number on the chat? Kevin Mauti. Kevin, type your registration number. Kevin Mauti, kindly type your registration number on the chat. Kevin? Where is this Kevin? Can you type your registration number on the chat? You can't type your registration number. Okay, that's the end of the session. If you can't type, we'll just get.
We can't forgive such indiscipline action. Huh? No, when a lecturer is sharing the screen, then you draw the X. You draw the X on the screen. What is that? We cannot tolerate that stupid action from you. And in this, Kevin Mauti is going to act as an example. We cannot tolerate those stupid actions when it comes to online class. Just communicate that student called Kevin Mauti, and just tell him that his days are numbered.